And a lot of things can happen and a lot of things need to be understood in I'm on the ground versus standing attacker anyway. But as a baseline context and idea, if let's say maybe I've backed Eli up with kicks, or I just feel safe enough that as I'm getting up, he can't reach me with his feet, any of his weapons, any of that type of stuff, but I'm staying in the fight, I want to keep eyes on Eli, that may be where I'm going to hit my technical get up. I don't lose any space, I don't gain any space, but I'm keeping my eyes on the threat and I'm able to bring myself up safely and stable to my standing position to be able to work from, okay? Maybe Eli and I were fighting and I'm getting shoved to the ground and now he starts taking off towards somebody that I care about or love, and now I need to gain ground. Well, now instead of moving backwards or staying in space, I can drop that shin underneath me. Now I have a better chance of keeping forward momentum as I get into that, and I can work from there, okay? Another context that might happen with our runaway, maybe Eli and I are fighting, he goes to shove. As I'm hitting the ground, I notice maybe he's starting to pull a knife. This is a terrible situation for me to have to deal with this, assuming I know how to run, which is a huge part of running, by the way, right? But if I feel pretty good about running, I know there's a short distance for me to get to help or get around a corner. Instead of trying to get up off the ground and fight that, I may make the decision to turn sprinter stance, shuck tail to make space. Maybe I'm trying to buy myself time to get to my own weapon. Maybe I'm trying to get to some help, whatever that is. Hey everybody, Aaron Jannetti with Endeavor Defense and Fitness, and we're gonna talk about getting up off of the floor. We're gonna show you 3 ways to get up off the floor, baseline context, based on kind of what you need to get done. Do I need to move forward, need to move backwards, need to stay where I'm at? So a lot of people right out of the gate, when most martial arts at this point have learned what's referred to as a technical get up. Baselines of the technical get up, I'm gonna have one foot in the ground, I'm gonna have the opposite hand in the ground. So I've got left foot, I've got right hand. Now generally speaking, I wanna think about having my hands up. We usually refer to what has been coined by my buddy Mike Chaney as the rhombus of hope. My elbows and knees generally always find themselves or find each other, right? So I have opposite foot, opposite hand, elbows posted on knee, I'm covering my head. From here, I'm gonna elevate my hips up off of the ground, and then based off mobility, I may step all the way back, foot underneath me, to get up into my stance and get ready to fight. If maybe I have tighter hips, can't get as much mobility out of that, I can lift that hip up, I can put the knee to the ground, structure from here, and then work my way up to standing. And then if you have even more mobility issues, you're newer to it, then maybe in the case that I need to get up, I can go ahead and put both hands on the floor and start to work my way up to standing from that case. But either way, the idea is very simple. I'm staying where I'm at, right? So I'm not trying to gain ground. I'm not necessarily trying to retreat to a different space. Opposite foot, opposite hand, hips come up off the floor, foot or knee steps back, come to a standing position based off your context. But now, maybe there's case for me to actually move forward. I've fallen down, I'm still seated this direction or facing this direction, but after I got knocked down, somebody's going after my kids, or I'm trying to run away that direction as fast as possible. So instead of maintaining my space and standing up right where I'm at, I want to buy a couple of maybe half seconds or seconds. I want to start moving forward. So the idea with this one, same exact idea. If I had opposite hand, opposite foot, this foot's going to come in, making essentially a figure 4 out of my legs. And now I can easily rotate up over top of this shin to get up and moving myself forward from that case. A lot of people will have a tendency to kind of want to put their feet like this and try to pull their hips up over, and it's just never going to work as well. So I'm going to take this foot, drop it to the ground so my shin is neutral to the floor, allows me to roll up over that, lift myself up, and I get to go to move to standing. So if I want to gain ground, all right, and start moving forward, that's a really good option. So that's get up number 2, way we can get off the floor. Last but certainly not least, and again, whether I'm seated or laying down, maybe I need to get that way as fast as possible. So we're gonna go into what we simply refer to as our sprinter stance. I'm gonna start taking off down that direction. I'm gonna step over, foot on the floor, other knees on the floor. It's called sprinter stance because for a moment in time, I'm gonna be right into here, and that's what's gonna get me up off of the ground pretty quickly. So now as a quick review of just the positions, opposite foot, opposite hand, I'm still covering, I'm still being defensive, but I'm gonna maintain my ground. Hips lift up, foot comes in, boom, I'm standing, all right? I decide I need to move forward. I drop that shin to the inside, allows my hips to move over. Now I can get myself up a little bit quicker. I decide I really need to get away. I'm gonna rotate over the knee, foot on the ground, and take off. And now, where can this actually start to come into play? That's where we have the beautiful Eli Knight here to help, right? So from a space perspective, again, a lot of things can happen and a lot of things need to be understood in I'm on the ground versus standing attacker anyway. But as a baseline context and idea, if let's say maybe I've backed Eli up with kicks, or I just feel safe enough that as I'm getting up, he can't reach me with his feet, any of his weapons, any of that type stuff, but I'm staying in the fight, I want to keep eyes on Eli, that may be where I'm going to hit my technical get up. I don't lose any space, I don't gain any space, but I'm keeping my eyes on the threat, and I'm able to bring myself up safely and stable to my standing position to be able to work from, okay? Maybe Eli and I were fighting, and I'm getting shoved to the ground, and now he starts taking off towards somebody that I care about or love, and now I need to gain ground. Well, now instead of moving backwards or staying in space, I can drop that shin underneath me. Now I have a better chance of keeping forward momentum as I get into that, and I can work from there, okay? Another context that might happen with our runaway, maybe Eli and I are fighting. He goes to shove. As I'm hitting the ground, I notice maybe he's starting to pull a knife. This is a terrible situation for me to have to deal with this, assuming I know how to run, which is a huge part of running, by the way, right? But if I feel pretty good about running, I know there's a short distance for me to get to help or get around a corner. Instead of trying to get up off the ground and fight that, I may make the decision to turn sprinter stance, shuck tail to make space. Maybe I'm trying to buy myself time to get to my own weapon. Maybe I'm trying to get to some help, whatever that is. But for whatever reason, I need to get away and get away fast. And that's our sprinter stance. So you have 3 ways you can get up off the ground based off whether I need to stay where I'm at, move forward, or move backwards quickly. Practice them, train them, work them into your styles, and we'll see you guys next time.